Welcome to Revenue Mind, where revenue leaders get real about mental health. I'm Julie. Stick around for honest stories, practical insights, and why well-being is the real bottom line. Let's dive in. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Revenue Mind podcast, a podcast where revenue leaders chat all things mental health. I'm Julie, your host, and with us is Claude. Welcome, Claude.
Hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for joining. And first off, congrats on your book.
Thank you. It's 5 weeks old now.
Cool. So thank you again for joining. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, but it's just going to be back and forth. So
Yeah,
let's go.
let's
All
do it.
right. First one. If you couldn't mention your title, resume, or mom, how would you describe who you are in this season of your life?
I am on the glorious back nine, and my front nine was amazing. My back nine will be even better. I get to do what it is I love that brings me a lot of joy every single day, and I'm living my purpose, which is to be of joyful service. And I'm a bit of a goofball.
As you can tell, I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take life very seriously, but I also like to have fun.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you have to. I'm a Taurus. Like, what else can I say? I love all things. I love food. I love drink. I love everything. I need to learn the world with my hands. I'm experiential. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here to play.
I love that. I'm probably the most unbalanced Libra you've ever met. That's how I'd put it.
When did you birthday? What day?
October 16th.
Oh yeah, you are smack in it though. Smack in it. All right. Well, we got to check out your moon and your rising.
True.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah, I never really got into that whole thing, but do you like it?
I like it. I like anything that's like human behavior esque. That's my jam. I like living there.
Great. So, what was the exact moment that yourself at work stopped being an idea and became, I have to write this, speaking of being out in the wild?
So, about 10 years ago, I told Gary I was going to write a book, Gary Vaynerchuk, my boss. And I told him in particular because I know he will hold me accountable. Everyone else I can, yeah, push off. That was just a pipe dream, whatever. I'm too busy, all that stuff. So I told him. And what I knew at that moment, I wasn't quite sure what it would be about other than bringing humanity into the workplace. That's what I figured it would be about, which it is. But it wasn't until COVID that I actually had time to sit back and say, okay, now I have amassed a lot of time, I would say, in working with humans and working with leaders, high performance people, people that are not doing well, whatever. And I have seen enough to know that a change has to happen and a change has to start with us, with me, individual. And I was really tired isn't the word. I just watching people suffer in the workplace, watching people struggle, watching people shrink is not my jam. And yet we do it and people do it and they have the Sunday scaries as I used to and all the above. And so is this a blame game? No, it needs to start with the individual, with the leader, with the culture, with the ground. And I finally was like, it's time to do it. I knew I was going to have to tell a little of my story in order to get into the book. I never wanted it to be a memoir or anything, but I knew I had to at least talk about, wow, there were many times in my life I didn't feel like I belonged. So I get it. And this is what I have done. And please take what you like and leave the rest.
Yeah, that makes total sense. From a high level for people that haven't read the book, what sorts of maybe one or two stories that
Yeah.
you shared?
Yeah. The biggest story that I think I share, like literally on page one or two, is I I was a terrible student, highly dyslexic, and really didn't do well in academics. And I'm a Gen Xer. I graduated high school in '87. There was no gap year. It was literally you're going to college, and I should never have gone. I went to the only college I got into. And I got into it on the waiting list. So it was really like, Claude. Anyway, 2 years in, bad decisions, bad drugs, bad boys, and I said to my parents, I gotta leave here. I gotta leave, and I have to find the longest outward bound outdoor education course I could possibly find. I needed to get the heck out of civilization, if you will, because I was so good at self-sabotage and just on that hamster wheel, as many of us are in adolescence. And, careful what you wish for. I found a 93-day wilderness leadership program, no toilet paper, no tents. We're all carrying, 80 pounds on our back. I'm the only young woman, 9 young men. And so it's day 1. And we are it's snowing. We're in the Colorado Rockies, about 11,000 feet up. And the guys just like, plow through to get to wherever it is we're going to like camp for the night. And I'm hating life. I am suffering. I'm struggling. I am like, I can't even breathe. I'm so out of shape. And, I'm crying, and I'm just praying that I will break my ankle so I can get out of here and go back home and do what's comfortable for me. Crying, 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 and my instructor came all the way down the hill, the mountain. I had a female instructor for the first 18 days, and she comes right, right like a foot away from my face, and she goes, "What is going on in your head right now?" And I said, "Well, I'm singing that Nine Inch Nails song, Head Like a Hole, Black as Your Soul. I'd rather die than give you control." And she looks at me and and I'm crying, right? And she goes, "You better get another song in your head." And that is how the book starts. And that is really my entry into understanding eventually that only I can change this negative voice in here. I can't change it for anyone else. But that was the first time it was like, "What?" So I had 93 days then to figure that out and to come out a much healthier person, more confident, and, just more understanding that I wanted to be of service. And
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, that's literally like the one bam, that was a just whew, and, and there you go.
Yeah, I think everyone's gonna probably wanna read your book now,
Yeah.
just based on that story.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing against Nine Inch Nails, I mean, because I obviously was listening to him, but that was not, like, what's that song, like, "Happy" by Pharrell or anything like that.
I was climbing a are you sorry, where are you based?
I'm based in New York, New Jersey, but I grew up in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Oh, okay, because you said the Rockies. I'm actually so I live in Denver.
Oh, nice. Well, this was in Leadville,
Oh, yeah,
Colorado Outward Bound. So we started in Leadville and then went all the way west, Grand Canyon,
that's
went
amazing.
yeah,
Wow. That is so
yeah,
cool, yeah, and did you do the Continental Divide?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Phew.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
my, so I was doing a peak in Breckenridge, and my mom, she put on Mamma Mia to get up the mountain. The la that last little
I love it.
hill. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was dancing up the mountain.
I love that. Good for her, man. Good for her. What is that? Like 11, 12,000? That's high.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, it was
High.
about yeah, peak 9 in Breckenridge is about probably like 12,000 feet, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, where you're like, step, breathe. That
Pretty
was me.
much.
Yeah, sucking wind, climbing whatever we were climbing that first day. And so you know where I was, yeah.
What's a moment that you abandoned yourself at work, and what did you get from it, and what did it quietly cost you?
Yeah, that's a really, really good one. I years ago, I abandoned myself at work by pretending I was not gay because I didn't feel safe in the culture I was in. I didn't feel safe in the microculture I was in particular, the table I sat at. And, um, and so I abandoned myself and I faked it. I pretended like, I was dating someone named Alex or Jesse, neutral names, that kind of stuff. And it sucked actually because I had been in San Francisco for 18 years where who cares what you are, be a chimpanzee, it does not matter. And here I was in another land And it affected me because I started to have shame within the workplace about it. And I was like, seriously, I'm 40 years old. Really? This is something I'm ashamed about? So the payoff was a lesson. There was nothing great about it. I could share it with a few people that, I ended up going out with, going for drinks and whatnot, but I lived a very separate life and I wasn't used to that. And I'm not used to that today. I don't have that. I don't have a fragmented work life type of thing.
I can imagine
Yeah.
that must have been very tough on my end for years before mental health was really, I mean, there's still a lot of stigma, but not as much as there used to be probably 10, 15 years ago. And I have a pretty severe mood disorder and I never talked about it.
Mm.
Never talked about it. And I just kind of white knuckled it,
Mm.
skin in my teeth, or not skin in my teeth.
Whatever.
Whatever that expression is, I would up my meds, lower my meds just to like survive in these like super intense environments. And you couldn't tell anyone that you had anything, especially like I lived in New York. I lived in Manhattan for 5 years. They say if you don't make it there, you can't make it anywhere. I made it in Denver though.
Yeah.
so,
Like,
so
yeah. Double, 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 double,
yeah,
double.
seriously. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like coming out with that. I'm pretty open about it now. Not I don't like shout it from the
I
rooftops,
didn't
but
see it on the billboard last time I was in Denver going to Boulder, but I hear you. I hear you. And I'm glad that you can talk about it now. And I mean, the kids these days, they tell me all kinds of stuff,
I know.
which is
Oh my
great,
gosh.
which is
Yeah,
great.
I feel like there's no filter. I still have I have no filter, but then I meet like Gen Zers and Gen Alpha. There's zero filter.
0, 0. You have no filter, but you're aware of it.
Oh, I'm super self-aware.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I had one guy, he's no longer at the workplace, but he ADHD and some other things, executive functioning, some other things that he shared with me. And he basically said, like, I need a walking treadmill and I need my own personal coach. I was like, I am so sorry we cannot get that for you, but we can accommodate you in other ways. And you may want to get a walking treadmill for your house. Like, I have one, like, if that's what you need, but like, I can't just get it for you and not not rent it out to everyone else. Anyway.
Yeah, those are tough decisions.
Yeah, those are tough decisions, and I wanna and I thanked him for being so open with us with like, that's a big deal, and I'm just sorry that it's not anything we are able to do here.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we walk through one brutal day where you had to lean on emotional optimism, bravery, and efficiency just to get through? Where did you nail it and where did you blow it?
Well, I'm having that day right now. I'm in it right now, and I'm not having the efficiency. I hope that we get to the efficiency. Okay, emotional optimism for me is look, we're emotional people, right? But that doesn't mean that emotions run our lives. It means they're data points, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So I was in a conversation early this morning with a few people, and we were talking about some challenging things within the DEI BIPOC culture at work. And I've heard these things over and over and over again. And I was like, wow, this first and foremost, like, this is on me at the end of the day if I oversee all of these people. But what are we doing? Like, these are problems that I've been hearing about for 3, 5 years, and we're still talking about it today. And so my point was to get through that with like, we need to get to the solution. We need to get to what are the solutions? Training, courageous conversations. I can just throw them out a dime a dozen. But we have someone that does this, and that person isn't doing the job. So I said, let's have a part two to this conversation. We scheduled it for tomorrow. The bravery part, emotional bravery, is then doing. How did I feel? I felt yucky. I felt bummed out. I felt disappointed. I felt frustrated. I felt like, listen, yes, of course it's on me, but I mean, you have the budget, go. Like it's a SVP. Do it. And so then I decided that I would really try to have a conversation with this person and talk about, so the bravery part is taking action, right? Feeling my feelings, knowing that it's going to be good, and then talking it out, and not in a blamey way, just like, hey, we've heard this for a while. I know that you're busy doing triage all day with some of these issues, but like that's not scalable. And we need to get training out into the water. We really do. And the person just shot back at me, and it didn't go well. And it was like, yeah, but I can't execute this on my own. I can't execute this on my own. And I'm sitting here going like, well, that's news to me because you're in this position for the last 3 years. So what are we doing? And I've asked you for these trainings and all that stuff. So we're at a standstill now. It was a very uncomfortable conversation where literally I had 5 minutes of kind of speaking my mind. And then it was the next 10 minutes of her really blaming me. So a little while ago, I just, I used good old AI, figured out my thought process and wrote what I think is a respectful email and asked for a conversation tomorrow. And so we'll see. We're stuck right now. So we're stuck in this. There's no oil in the engine here. And we'll see what she writes back. Might not be what I want, and these are tough conversations because here I am. I understand my privilege. I'm a white woman, right? I understand. And I'm equipped to understand what that means when I'm speaking to BIPOC people, and she is. And so there's only, what am I going to, there's only so much give and take I can do. It's like, we just need to understand what the role and responsibility is going into 2026. And that's where I want to get to. And whatever she needs me to do, I will do it. I will stay late. I will write the damn decks, but it needs to happen. So we aren't at the efficiency place yet.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, yes, real deal.
I haven't been in that situation, but I mean, just hearing you the way you're handling it sounds like you have a lot of self-awareness.
Thank you. I mean, it's a massive, well, it's a massive journey for me, but it's a massive priority for me. I don't want to I don't want to point fingers when I should be pointing thumbs at myself. And I understand, like, at the end of like I said to you, at the end of the day, anything that happens with people and the experience they have in this workplace is on me, even though I'm 8 steps removed. But it is on me. And so thus, let's do something about it. Let's let's do something about it. I don't want to have another conversation with you telling me that this person feels marginalized. I know that already. What are we doing?
I have trouble asking for help,
Yep. Yep.
and I don't think I'm the only one.
Nope.
I mean, and it has bitten me in the butt so many times. And I don't know the person. I don't know their situation. I don't pretend to know, but I think, at least in my opinion, I think us as humans in general have a lot of trouble admitting that we need help,
Yeah. Yes.
especially in the
And
workplace.
yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna say in the workplace and especially with these sensitive issues that who know what's the right answer here? I don't know. All I know is that there are people that don't feel safe. They don't feel psychologically safe. Okay. Then what are we doing about that? And there's a lot I can do, but I'm also not of that population. I need help. So that's me saying I need help.
Yeah, there you go. How do you handle that kind of pressure? Like, just kind of in general, like, with those really serious, sticky issues?
Yeah. Um I'll tell you what, and this isn't to be a Pollyanna. Most of the time, I feel like we can find solutions via conversation and via just like dialogue and like just being real and talking about the elephant in the room, as sticky as that can be most of the time. But there have been times, probably 3 or 4 times in the workplace where I was like, I can't. Like when the Hamas issue came about October 7th of 2 years ago, year ago and a half, like it's an impossible situation. There's nothing I can say that is going to satisfy anyone, whether or not you are Jewish, you're Israeli, you are Muslim, you're Palestinian. Anything I said was terrible. And that was like, wow, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can take that kind of pressure because I'm Jewish. Like, I have feelings, right? But I can't show that. And that was very, very tough. And my boss, Gary, at the end of the week, he was wonderful. He could just read my mind. He called me up and he said, you did the best you could. And I said, yeah, but there's always more I can do. He's like, no, you did the best you could. And I was like, thank you. And I let myself off the hook because I was like, feeling like, shoot, just like I feel like I can't solve racism. And I really wish we could. I really wish we could as a society, but either we're not or we can't. And that's a lot of pressure to me when I know that there are people who are coming into work, code switching, hiding their sexuality, hiding their, mental health, whatever it is. And we don't work in utopia. We work in the real world. But I desperately want to make the microcosm in which with the four walls that we inhabit all over the world and all of our offices, I want to make them as peaceful, happy, collaborative, creative, friendly, warm as possible. And that takes a lot more than me.
Yes. But you are making a valiant effort.
Thank you.
Of
I'm trying
course.
over here. I'm trying over here. I tell you, that was a doozy, but I'm really glad I got to talk about it just now.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to I it's funny, I have people tell me that this feels more like therapy than an actual podcast. I've had several people tell me that. I'm like, "I'm not trying to, like."
Yeah. I think that's a big
Yeah.
compliment. I think it's a
Yeah,
big
I'll take it.
yeah. And I guess you're also, if I may, I would imagine that you have a lot of self-awareness and a lot of empathy knowing what you've gone through, the ups and the downs and all of that stuff that happens, with shame and yucky, yuck, yuck, that, of course, you hold space very well because you know what that's like to not have a space held for you.
I really appreciate that. I'm Jewish too, and it was, it's like, going back to what you were saying about just identities in general, it's like, I completely understand, talking to you now, g getting a sense of you, of why you wrote "Be Yourself at Work."
Mm. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but there are micro steps we can take to just start to feel a little better in our own skin. And the company needs to meet you. The leaders need to meet you. I'm not suggesting you go do a cannonball into the water and the leaders are just like, "Oh yeah, nothing. You get to know nothing about me." So thank you though. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, of course. Actually, that brings me to a question. If someone GM'd you on Slack or Teams, performing a version of myself at work and it's killing me, what's the very first sentence you send back?
Stop what you're doing right now and get on the phone with me, Zoom, or come, let's go take a walk if they're in person. Like, please stop what you're doing. I hear you. Let's talk. And then most likely I would like to give this person some time to just breathe and then see if this is the right place for them. Is this a them thing? Is it an us thing? Is it a what thing? There's so many different elements. But one of the things, you and I both know is before we turn on our laptop at 9 a.m. or walk into that office, we've had 2 or 3 hours of life. And in those 2 or 3 hours of life, all kinds of things happen. Great things, weird things, kids, the this, the that. And then we go into the workplace and we are expected to just shut it down. And life isn't like that. Put it this way, the life I am in isn't like that. I don't want to exist in a life where it's all Pollyanna toxic positivity. That's not for me. And I don't know who it's for, quite frankly.
The fact that you even attempt is probably more than 99% of what people do. What do you see happening? What's your ideal state of, like, either your inner circle or 7 degrees, or, however you want to put it? Like, what impact do you ultimately want to make?
Okay. At a very macro, I would like to remove shame in this world. At a macro. Can't do that alone. But that is something that I am wedded to. I would like to bring a lot more tenderness into this world. I think that's possible with all of us. So there's 2 macro things there that are just enormous. What I would like, though, is if a person picks up the book, has a conversation with me, has a conversation with you, and feels like their normal, whatever their normal is okay. Because guess what? We're all a little like that. I don't know anyone that's just normal because they're faking it, because there is no normal. We are messy. We are messy. And I want that to be okay with that person. And I want that to be understood in the workplace. I'm not saying, please mess it all up. No one wants to clean up your mess, right? No one wants to. But it's okay if some comes out. We are human beings. It like what? We're just supposed to be these machines? And like there's this, everyone's like, "Oh, AI, AI, AI." Oh, no, no. Yeah, sure, AI, it's here and it's going to do some great things. AI, as far as I know, this minute is not going to replace this conversation, my hand on your shoulder saying, "I got you and you got this." That's what I want. I want people to be able to authentically meet people where they are, both of them, both, and ride with one another, ride, not be so afraid of getting gunk on you. Like that takes boundaries. That takes all of that stuff. So it's a whole charade of things I want, but ultimately I want people to get to know themselves and to feel some kind of sense of I like myself. If they can go, I like myself, I'll take that over I love myself. And I will definitely take that over I hate myself.
Same. How do you think you can achieve that?
Through these conversations, through speaking with other like-minded people who have their own communities and their own reach and who are understanding and empathetic and also understand, like, I don't have any answers. There's nothing I have here that you don't have, madam, sir. It's just via my own lived experience in the way it comes out of my mouth. But, like, I got nothing other than good vibes and knowing that things can be better and we can find solutions together, but I don't have the answer. I'm not the smartest person in the room. In fact, no one is. The room is. These are those things, just like little things that we could tweak in the workplace. That person that interrupts you 5 times in 2 back-to-back meetings. Really? Like, get a grip. Understand that that's no bueno. No one needs that, and imagine how you made that person feel. So it's all of this stuff. If we can just be more aware of how we show up every day, how we decide to show up. Am I walking into that meeting being like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Jolie? What's up? Yeah, does it really feel like I wanna have attention for you?" But that happens. So, macro, micro, we can do something. It doesn't have to be this hard.
For those that don't know, where can we find you if they have questions?
Oh, yeah, you can find me at claudesilver.com, And LinkedIn, I respond to everyone that writes me. It might take a little bit of time, but I'm really active on LinkedIn. And then my website. I don't go to my website, but I answer what comes in the website.
I love
And
that.
it's not fascinated. I want to do this. I want to do this. And it is going to take a heck of a lot of us that believe that we can make these incremental changes and that people don't have to hide and suffer in the workplace.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Claude. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. This is the best.
That's a wrap for Revenue Mind, where we cut the BS and spotlight mental health and revenue leadership. I'm Jolie. We're reminding you your mindset is your competitive edge. Thanks for listening. See you next time.